Hello, everyone. Welcome to my another episode of Shakir's ERP vlog. Today, I have one of the interesting guests. He's a veteran when it comes to finance. He's played many roles as a finance controller, as a general manager. So now he's the CFO. Is one of the largest, I would say, automotive holding company in Dubai. I think they have more than 19 to 20 different entities. He's heading the finance division of it, and they have different businesses like driving institute, car rental, bus rental, and so on. And our guest is in Dubai for almost 25 years. I think he came in from 1996 or 97. So I would like to welcome Walid Saad. Hi, Walid. Welcome to the podcast. How are you doing?
Fine, fine. Hi, Shakir. How's everything? I'm happy to be in your broadcast, and then I hope I will be an ad for anybody's listening to this. And sharing knowledge is one of the main things that we have to do in life. So we are always progressing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in today, Walid. Really appreciate it. I hope this podcast is going to be helpful for quite a few folks who's going to be tuning in. So let's jump into the podcast. As you know, the podcast is focused towards helping the community and also the people around in the ERP industry with insights from industry experts like yourself. So I'd like to ask you my first question. As you have worked in different organizations from time to time, and you headed quite a few projects like ERP, CRM, different enterprise software projects. So I wanted to ask you, have you come across any ERP kind of failed projects? Do you have any insights which you can share as to why it failed? What was the reason for this failure of those kind of projects?
Actually, definitely. And the failure, actually, it was more than the success. And I have to
Mhm.
be clear here and transparent. I don't want
Right.
to tell you that everything's fine and we reach great goals and all that stuff. But the reality, the failure, it was happened in two times. The first time, actually, I was not part of this implementation. When I joined the company, they already signed for an ERP, and the implementation is going on. And I start to hear the complaints and the mess situation that they've been into, and we start to make a damage control, and that was very hard for me because you already spend the cost, like you paid almost, the process of paying ARP for a partner or something. You have
Yes.
to pay an advance and progress payment and all that stuff, right? And try to find out how can we get the best out of the situation, because as I told you, the money already been paid and people are working parallel on the new system and the old system, which
Hmm.
was another obstacle,
Right.
right? And at the end, we continue, and it was, I cannot say successful, but it was working.
Hmm.
Not in the best version, but it was working. And I do believe the ERB we are using, it was good as ERB standalone,
Hmm.
but something went wrong with the partner who presented and the implementation, which been done by the in-house team.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
there was no proper synchronization, and that what leads to at the end that the failure happened in the beginning. And I cannot say it turned to success, but it turned to be at least a normal situation.
Right.
And they stayed after that for a few years. I left that company, joined another company,
Right.
and I believe now we are in the stage of changing it again.
Right. Right. Understand. Yeah, so thank you for sharing that. I know it's something very critical for an organization for the ERP to work, so there's a lot of process and a lot of steps that are involved in this. So as you've shared that there have been an instance where the failed ERP would have happened, I'm sure that you would have learned from some of those mistakes. So what I wanted to ask you is, what did you learn from the mistakes? Like, what are the key takeaways from those previous failed projects, and how did you correct them in the new projects which where you were part of?
Okay. Actually, the main thing, as I told you, when I had this company, they already have finalized everything.
Right.
So I have to face it and deal with the ARB that's been selected, right? So if I take it a step back, the first thing that everybody need to know, first you need to ask yourself and your organization a question. Do you need an ARB? This is number one. Second thing, to choose which ARB is suitable for you. Okay. And the third one is like, which is more important and coming before all that, the cost benefit ratio. Okay. And ERB is the big word, but under this, technology itself and any system to be implemented in an organization, fine. You have to think, I'm a CFO, and that's obviously, I'll talk
Right.
numbers, right? So
Yeah.
before you sign with any organization, you need to see how much is the cost and how this is will affect on your business. And by the way, I'm not talking about the ERP will generate revenue, but at the end, the return on investment for that, it should be there. You know,
Right.
technology, it should be implemented over there. And I'm not saying also that it should be a short-term return. It could be short-term, mid-term, and definitely it's a long-term investment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing you need to ask yourself, I need ERP at the life of this organization now? Because choosing the time is important, and then you go for the product. What product that you have to make your homework carefully.
Correct.
And with all my respect, don't listen only to one of those organizations supporting a certain ERP, right? Actually, they are not much, they are few,
Yeah.
but definitely every one of them will like protect their product and will try to tell you only the positiveness. And it's a very easy technique. You can just
Right.
go to the other like partners, the other softwares, and ask them about the advantage and disadvantage of other products. And
Yeah.
then you sit with your team, evaluate by yourself, and
Yeah.
then finally choose the best for you. And put in mind in the criteria, setting that criteria, that you will never have one ERB fulfilling all your requirements.
Absolutely.
The most important is like you are choosing whatever is closer to your group. And I'm talking about a holding company. I'm not talking about an individual company can
Yes.
decide, because it's well known. If you are in real estate, we already know what is the best top three ERBs can in this field. If you are in retail, we know already it's listed and it's rated, right? The challenge will gonna come if you have a group of companies, like in our group, we have a 29 entities
Yeah.
under one umbrella, right? You have a shared services and you have different type of operation structure. So to fulfill all these things, it will not be possible to make it in 100%.
Correct.
So your plan, how can you come close to what's ERB suitable for your situation?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Amazing. So I think two takeaways from this point, what I notice is that one is a very important point. ERP is not a revenue generator. That's, as you rightly said, they don't generate the revenues. They are the enablers for you. They don't generate the revenue. So that is one important point. The second point is the ERP implementation company should be open to the options that ERP, you cannot have 100% fulfillment in a single ERP because of holding company. You have multiple business lines, right? So maybe you're reaching a certain level where most of it automated, and rest of the things, yeah, you have to go with industry specific solutions. So that's a great insight. Great. Now, following up, another question I have here is that as you're heading this such a large conglomerate, right, there would be requirements from time to time for different systems or different ERPs. Maybe you're doing a new company acquisitions, or maybe you are expanding your business. So whenever you get some requirement, right, how do you approach it? What would be there in your checklist saying that, okay, there's a requirement that has comes in, this is my checklist I'm going to follow. What would that be?
Okay, we are now jumping to running ARP ready, and then now you start to have some requests from everybody to change. So
Yes.
now this is the thing, you're already in the situation. So to
Right.
handle it, right, it's like you will handle it case to case, because uh, if you do your homework properly, they call a change request. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that's can be done if your initial deal with this ERB company covering all these things, right?
Right.
Otherwise, you will face it by they will accept it and they will raise an invoice, or they will make it free of charge, or they will
Right.
tell you sorry, it's not possible. And this has happened already with us lately in the company where I'm working right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing is what they been promised, it was not happening. So when they asked for a change request, they told us this version is not supporting that.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? The partner who offered the same software, he started to offer another software, another ERB,
Right.
right? And he will start to sell to us a new deal. You got what I mean?
Mhm.
And this is will take us to again additional investment, right? An
Yeah.
additional headache for the people in-house team to implement with like all the headache we're gonna start from the beginning again and all that
Right.
stuff. So Uh, Let me tell you one of the the bad practices many of the ERP companies are doing,
Yeah.
and I will use their language over here.
Yeah.
They call it land and expand. It
Hmm.
means they will offer you something in the beginning which will be suitable for you, and you're gonna accept it. And but if you didn't study that very well, you will find out yourself that you are engaged with them, right? And this is the meaning of land. They just want to land with you, right?
Right.
And to expand, for every change request, there will be a charge. There will be another story that, remember, you bought a base features, then to add anything to it, you have to pay more and all that stuff.
Right.
Okay, payment is an issue, but the main issue if they can support this or not, right?
Hmm.
Especially for the industry that you are handling with this ERP in particular. I hope I'm getting the point
Yes. Yes.
to you and to people who's listening to us. So and we face this already. And I would tell you at the end, the last experience which I had, which is covering all this up and wrap it up and how we handle it and where we are at the time right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Rightly said. So now, I think part of it you have already answered it. I would like to still insist on this question. When you're looking at, let's say, let's change the role. Now, you are an ERP advisor. Okay. So, if you would be an ERP advisor, what would you advise the organizations who are looking at implementing an ERP? Maybe they're implementing for the first time. Maybe they already have an existing system. They're trying to upgrade it to a new system. What should be there as a prerequisite? What do you recommend based on your experience to these organizations?
Okay. First of all, I need to hold on my ethics. When I'm approaching them, I put myself in their place that I have some challenges and I want to sort it out, or I want to develop the IT process in my system, and I want the ERB to be accepted by everybody working in the organization, from the blue collar people to the top management. It's not only finance or IT or other people, right? Why I'm telling about ethics, because I will not gonna overcharge you. I will not try to sell you something I have. First of all, I have to go through the discovery process, and I'm using the terms of IT, what IT companies, right? You
Right.
know,
Right.
the discovery meetings and sessions where you will ask everybody about the requirements.
Right.
Okay, and then it should not be done by one person only. Technically, I know the business. Okay, it
Right.
should be done with a team, somebody in the operation and
Yeah.
somebody in the technical, of course, and someone have done the implementation in a similar group to
Hmm.
tell you all the best practices, right, being done. So I'm talking now, I'm the ARB, right? I will reach the
Yes.
client.
Yeah.
I sit with the team individually and all the levels. And I can start actually with the users, right? The one who's inputting data entry or the one interacting with the system on a daily basis,
Right.
right? And I will go to the second level who's dealing with the clients and customers for certain reports, right?
Yeah.
This is all internal in the organization.
Correct.
And I'll end it up by the top management, like, the CTO, the CFO, whatever it is, or directors or anybody like this.
Correct.
Then
Correct.
when I wrap this up, right, I should have what is the right solution for them. And I have to be honest, that's why I start by ethically.
Correct.
That, do I have the right solution for them? Or I can refer them to somebody else. I know it's like it's an angel approach, right? But at
Yes.
least I will not gonna put them engage in something which will not be suitable for them.
Correct. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's pretty good. So I think I had another similar experience talking to another industry expert in my previous podcast where we talked about a very, very similar approach that all the users have to be heard. It's not just one department or top management who decided that you're going to implement an ERP. It's that every team has to be involved. We can try and get the requirement from the bottom level to the top level to make sure that this is what they require before even you talk about a product, right? So that's pretty good. I'm not surprised. Good. I think another extension of my previous question here as well. You already shared one of the answers that talking about bad practices, right? So you already shared one of the experience that land and then expand. So this is one of the bad practices followed by, let's say, ERP partners or OEMs in this region. I wanted to ask you an extension of this. What other bad practices do you see that has been followed by the so-called partners or OEMs in the region, and how do you think it's affecting the end customers like yourself? Right, end of the day, it's going to cost you challenges with the business and with the cost as well. And any suggestions on how can we resolve this? Just wanted to expand on that part a bit more.
Oh, okay. Um, so this last, situation we faced, it is exactly explaining all what you are facing right now. uh, we like believe that we have to change. So the need of the change is needed because again, the ERB which you are currently using in some of the companies or in one of the companies are not supporting. So there's a need to change for this company and for other companies as well. And remember, the age of each company is not the same. Like
Right.
this, there's companies like with 2 decades of like business, and some companies are just freshly started, right?
Right.
So the need of the change is like is there. So what
Right.
happened internally? We had a committee to decide what is the best ERB for for our group. So what happened? They've been in a hurry. I can just give them an excuse about that because
Yeah.
there is a push from everybody. They need RB. Some companies they don't have at all any system in place,
Right.
right? And
Right.
some companies need the change immediately because this is affecting on their daily operation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so at the end, they decided on a certain software, and they were already engaged. And we start to meet the partner, and we send even purchase request and all that stuff. We are already engaged,
Right.
right?
Right.
So when they start to give their presentation, I feel this land and expand in their way
Mm-hmm.
because they trying to show that they can do it, but they have I'm talking about the partner.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
they have 25 employees and we are 29 companies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the size of that partner definitely is not suitable to our size.
Right.
Okay, even they will do the implementation online, or they will visit our locations or whatever it is. But this is number one. Number two, the experience they had,
Mm.
okay, similar to our group is not there. Definitely, we have some unique companies,
Right.
okay, which is not many in the region doing that business.
Right.
Even that I was not targeting because again, I don't want to give them a challenge where they cannot fulfill it.
Right.
But again, go to next level, okay, of normal things, real estate, retail, other things. They should
Mm-hmm.
have strengths in one of these areas. Okay.
Right.
So you will ask me, so why you approach this partner? Guess what? This is the same partner who provided us the first software which did
Mm-hmm.
not fulfill our requirements. So
Mm-hmm.
this partner, he's a partner for two systems,
Right.
right? Okay. So this is didn't work with you, and now this may work with you. So
Right.
actually, we elevate this subject to the main board, and we decided to put the whole project on hold,
Mm-hmm.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
keep studying it again.
Right.
So I did myself approached other softwares in different levels,
Right.
and I don't want to mention names definitely, but the same company have different softwares. I'm
Mm.
not talking
Okay.
about the partner. I'm talking about
The
the software
OEM.
itself.
Yeah, the OEM. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Right. So I ask each team of them like individually, and definitely everybody will tell me we are the right solution for you. Some
Yeah.
of them is telling no, the other team under this company, under their company,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
suitable for you because your size is big
Yeah.
and your turnover is X amount, so it cannot be handled, the transactions and all that stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And definitely the other one will tell, no, we are suitable for you. You are big, but we have also done implementation in a bigger group. And
Yeah.
remember, it's the same company, right? And I approach also
Right.
the other option. It was only three options in the market,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and definitely people in this field they know what I'm talking about, right?
Correct. Correct.
So
Absolutely.
okay, you tell me now about the bad practice over here. Number one, during all this process, you cannot imagine that the company I reach, right? They have an in-house sales team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have partners.
Mm-hmm.
So if I deal with this software, again, I need the software. Who will do the implementation? It's a second point, right?
Yes.
So imagine all of them are telling me the advantage to go through them, to
Mm.
do the implementation through their in-house team or to a partner, right? Or else.
Right.
The second thing, the partners themselves, when you talk to them, the way they approach you, It's like they just want the deal. They just want to reach their target and they close the year.
Right.
And with all my respect, they care about this software, fine, but it's not the first priority. They just want to get the maximum benefit for their site.
Right.
So
Right.
the main bad practice over here is like, are they capable to do the job or not? So they cannot
Hmm.
just say that we can, and at the end, will lead to failure, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And also the software people themselves, this is their partners. When they recommend a partner for you, they need to do their due diligence that is this the right partner for you or not, right? Because right now, for a certain software, they have like more than 40 partners, right? For different
Right.
type of business.
Correct.
So they have to do this due diligence for you and make your life easy. But what happened, and from LinkedIn, by the way, right? I've been approached once, the rumors start to say this company, this group are targeting to go for a software change and all that stuff, or
Right.
ERB. So I've been approached by all of them. And actually, I said, let me grow up my experience in this field, right? And I have to go more in depth
Correct.
and hear them all out. And at the end, I will do my due diligence and do my homework and I'll see what's suitable for us, right?
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
The same company, they have another software, as I mentioned. So for the same software, they have different way of implementation through a partner, through a sales team, right?
Correct.
And they have other softwares. Also, those people, and sorry to say that, they are bad mouthing each other. They will
Hmm.
tell you, be careful about one, two, three. And imagine we are at the same company, and two of our companies you are dealing with in different services, and in each of this company talking in a different way about the other sister company. Imagine that's for me, but the way they perceive it is not like this. They
Right.
think they have all the rights to close deals and to finalize and to reach their targets, and that's why I start by ethics without any ethics. And by the way, they admitted this and they apologize, right? So what happened at the end? We put the project on hold. We have now three options, right?
Right.
I start to look at the cost benefit ratio in depth. And is it the right software for each of our companies?
Right.
And I start to put the team engaged more in this decision.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the main action I take, that there is no action, right? Let's hold on and
Yeah.
let's study very well, and then before we engage or we take it further. So the good news is that the purchase request and the company we dealt with, alhamdulillah, successfully, the decision is like it was correct, right? They are
Right.
not the right partner. And so far, the news is telling us that was not also the right software for our size and the
Mm.
nature of business.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty good.
So I told you one main bad practice, but under this there is many
So
small,
many of
small bad
yes.
practices.
True.
Yeah.
True. I
One,
believe.
one more thing I just want to share. It is like, and it's my, evaluation for the ERP implementation.
Yeah.
Normally people are looking at the cost in two areas, which is the
Right.
cost of the software itself and the cost of implementation.
Correct.
One of them, it will be, distributed as CapEx, right, for a
Yes.
few years. And the other one will be the operation cost where you are renewing the license and all that stuff, right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
implementation zone, we're going to split it. And the other one is like what you're going to pay it every year. But
Correct.
actually, we are doing here a bit of like oversighting this subject because the third part, which is more important, the cost of the implementation for your in-house team.
Mm-hmm.
So the cost, the time of their spending for this
Right.
implementation, you need to value it and you need to translate this into numbers. And you
Right.
need to consider that the effort from your team, if it's done for the wrong software and they have a failure, this is like, will end up by depression for some of your employees,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
Okay. So, but back again to the number, I made a formula as like, let's say the software, the implementation is like 30%,
Mm-hmm.
and the 30% goes for the in-house. This is makes 60%,
Right.
right? And the 40% goes to the license itself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
so you have the installation and implementation and the in-house cost.
Correct.
By the way, you divided the way it's suitable because it's vary from business to the other. It depends also how big is your in-house team and how much support that you need from the partner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But again, it is three areas: the
Yeah.
license, This is something. Implementation is another thing, and the cost for your in-house team. This is the
Right.
most important. And
Very
let
good.
me tell you what I reach also as an advice. We need some people that shouldn't have any conflict of interest. There is some consultancy companies, they are doing management consultancy.
Hmm.
And in their team, there is some IT expert. So I approach these people and I ask them to do the discovery meetings with our team. Even we're gonna pay for it. It's nothing wrong in this, because
Right.
at the end it will help you to take the right decision.
True. True.
Okay. So to do the discovery meeting and what is the requirement for ERP, right? And the thing is, at the end, they will help you also to choose the right software. And the most important, the acceptance of the in-house team, because the resistance for any change, it's everywhere. And especially when it comes to IT. Yeah, I myself, I stayed for a certain version of phones for a certain period. I don't want
Hmm.
to change until I'm pushed to change,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
there's many people I believe similar like me, right? So in an organization like us with that size, so the initiative should come from the people using the system on a daily basis up to their management.
Right.
And to be frank, forcing to have the ERP and implemented in the proper way to reach the target, it should be covered, okay, from the top management level. Like they
Right.
come and tell the people, guys, we need to change, and we are about to change. It's not I'm taking your opinion, we need to change or not. Because if you ask them, most of them will tell you, we are fine, we are good
Yeah.
with what we have right now. So there should be a little push from the management side. At the
Right.
end, my wish, let me tell you, my wish to for our group and for any company, right? You want to provide your chairman or your top management level, right? Easy reports. They should have dashboards on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on monthly basis to show them what's going on in each area, where of their interest or where it will help for the business itself to grow.
Yeah.
If ERB didn't reach you to help you on this level, so I believe it's a cost with a minimum benefit. But if it reach you to be that, this ROI need to be counted.
Right.
If the business owner are able from through the ERB system to decide where to expand and where to decide and where to make manage change management or where to make restructure
Right.
or where to catch some opportunities which is in the market and it's not in the group right now, to
Yeah.
be diversified and all that stuff. So all these areas should help in ERB implementation from the
Yes.
owner level, the top management level. And I believe I covered already the downline. People need to feel the change.
Yes.
For ERB, it is for their benefit. It will reduce their effort. It will improve their accuracy. It will make their life much more easier than before. And it will not gonna let like AI now, what they're talking about, it will not let them lose their jobs, right? Because it's
Absolutely.
very simple. It will help you in the expansion. And the
Right.
people doing something automated, they can do some other work, in analysis,
Oh
in
yeah.
FP&A, like the financial planning and analysis, in other things, right? But
Right.
it will not mean that when you have an ERP, it means like you lay off of some people and all that stuff,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Well, I think I couldn't ask for a better answer from you, Walid, because this is something which I have seen in the market. It's you just spot on, bullseye on these points. I'm sure that this would be an eye opener for a lot of partners and OEMs out there who is working with the partners, working with the customers, because I see that consultative selling is what it sells in the market. You have to consult with the customer, give them the right option. There's no replacement for that. How good you're into sales, but end of the day, you're a consultant. That's what you're consulting the customer and giving them the right approach. As you rightly said, it's all about ethics, right? So if you can do it, great. You have to prove a worth for it. If you cannot, then give them a better options. End of the day, it's the customers who would suffer this, right? So great. I think we got quite some insights in today's podcast. So thank you so much for your insight there, Walid. Really appreciate it, and best of luck with your implementation. And yeah, I look forward to having multiple discussions with you and having you as one of the advisors in this ERP industry. I can reach out to you anytime for
Sure.
any. Sure.
I hope I'm like, cover most of whatever you're
Absolutely.
asking for.
Yeah, yeah,
And I'm
amazing.
really, it's my pleasure to be in touch with you all the time. And I hope our discussion is light on the people. Wish you all the best and thanks for the time.
Sure, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Walid. Really appreciate it.